To God Be the Glory presents Admit, Submit, Commit, a sermon by Pastor Ronnie Brooks.
Good morning. Thank you for joining To God Be the Glory Ministries. We're a church believing in helping people help themselves. We're located on the corner of 45th and Silverton here in Salem. Our address is 4455 Silverton Road Northeast. Join us on Sunday morning. Our prayer service starts at 9 a.m. Then we move right into our Sunday school class, which begins at 9:30, where our Deacon Scott will bring a powerful Sunday school lesson. At 10:30, we move right into our regular service, led by Pastor Ronnie Joe Brooks. We look forward to seeing you on your next Sunday. Please join us. I'm certain you will be blessed. Thank you.
This is our Martin Luther King celebration service.
Yeah.
And when you think about Dr. King, you can't help but think about somebody who was a drum major for justice, a drum major for righteousness, a person who did not mind giving up himself in order that somebody else might give. So I come to you this morning. What can you remember about Dr. Martin Luther King?
You know, Pastor, there's so many things that I remember about our Dr. King. But I think the one thing that really stands out is that he was a praying man.
Yes,
He was a praying man. When he made decisions and they weren't the right decisions and everybody didn't agree, he went on his knees and prayed. I think about, I went to see that movie, Selma, and his prayer life helped people follow. You know, when you're doing something, when you're a praying man, people will follow you.
Amen.
And he had a great following. But when they got to that bridge, hundreds and hundreds of people, and on the other side, they wanted to get on the other side of that bridge. And there's just probably a tenth of people on that side, but they were the law. And so hundreds and thousands of people on this side. But King got on his knees. He got on his knees before he made that decision to go across that bridge. And a lot of times I think about, he always prayed.
Amen.
Always a praying man.
Amen. And Dr. King said something that's so profound, and we have to think about it on this day. He said, if a man has not found something to die for, he has not found anything to live for. So as we come to celebrate Dr. King, let us remember that we can't forget the strides that we've made. We know that God is in the midst of everything that Dr. King did. So I say to us today, let's not forget, so that as we move forward, we will be not destined to commit those same mistakes that we made on yesterday. Amen? Amen. Amen.
I feel deep inside. Make me wanna run in His name. Whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever it is, it won't let me. What is this? The people think I'm acting strange. Maybe wanna run in Jesus' name. Whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever it is, it won't let me. Love, I agree. be a song. Whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever it is, it won't let me. Whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever it is, it won't let me. Oh, oh, oh,
Amen. I'd like for us to come from Matthew, the 6th chapter.
Hallelujah.
Starting at that 31st verse. Matthew, the 6th chapter, starting at that 31st verse.
Yeah.
Now, y'all know that our themes this year has been coming from the 12-step program. Now, many people wonder, why would you come from the 12-step program? You know, the reason why God put that on me is that there are so many of us that are in the church that got addictions.
Amen.
Yeah, there we go.
Amen.
See, some of you think because you've been saved and you do it and you don't get caught, you think that that's all right. But you know what? God is looking.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he sees your addictions. And so many of us are caught with I don't do meth, I don't do marijuana, I don't drink no more Jack Daniels, I'm not drinking no more beer, and so you think those are the only addictions. But just let me just kind of help you out. How many of you, and you don't have to raise your hand, but how many of you are struggling with lying?
Amen.
That's an addiction. How many of you are struggling with the fact that every time you wake up, you always got bitterness on your mind? How many of you, whenever somebody says something good to you, you got something bad to say back to you? Those are addictions.
Yes.
Addictions. So let's look at Matthew, the 6th chapter, 31 through 34. Look what it says. Therefore, do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For after all these things the Gentiles seek.
Yeah.
For your heavenly Father knows that you have need of these things. But, I like those conjunctions. But seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, all of his righteousness, and then these things shall be added unto you. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Amen. For tomorrow will worry about itself. Yes. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. I want to talk to you from this particular subject. Now, we've been talking about our first step for the 12-step program is admit that you are powerless. Admit that you are powerless. 12. If you miss this, you can't do the rest of them. Because if you don't ever admit that you're powerless, you're going to always try to do it yourself. And so you got to recognize that, number one, I am powerless. I'm powerless. But today what I want to talk about, admit, submit, commit. I got to thinking last night that as I was working on my sermon, I got to thinking last night that I can speak it and still get stuck. Yeah. I can admit that I'm powerless and then be stuck. I can admit it. It can come out of my mouth. I think it can come straight up out of my mouth. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to do anything. Yeah. Because I'm hearing too many of us admitting that I'm a mess, but you won't do anything about the mess. Amen. All right. That's one of the worst things, is to see that you are in a bad condition and then you don't do anything about it. Yesterday when the doctor came up to visit Pastor Weaver got to tell the doctor, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. Come here, get me out of here. I'm ready to go home. And I told him, I said, hey man, hush! I said, you are here in the hospital because you are sick. So you have to admit you're sick. But as long as you're sitting up here trying to play like you ain't sick, and every time they take your blood sugar and it's over 200 and 300, you're sick. I come by here to tell you there are too many of us that's in the church and you're sick. And what you want to do is play like you're not sick. Oh, I smell you in your best, you got your best clothes on. I feel you. I feel you. You got your best stuff on. You're looking good. You're smelling good. But you know what? Looking and smelling will not overcome your sickness. And so today what I want us to do is I want us to grab hold to something. Because if we do not admit it, you can never submit. If you never submit, you can never commit. Y'all will get that on the way home. You get that on the way home. So now remember now, if a baby never takes one step, he'll never take the next step. I never forget my father was talking about me when I was learning how to walk. And y'all know, and you can look at me now, that I'm heavily endowed with the head.
All right.
I didn't get this. It didn't grow up overnight. I've always had a big head. And my daddy said when I was learning how to walk, the doctor was concerned because I would take a half a step and fall. Half a step fall. Half a step fall. Half a step fall. And my father said, my mother was very concerned. She said, will he ever learn to walk? There was an old lady by the name of Sister Annie B. Sister Annie B. Bailey went to Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church. A woman, she never had no education, but she told my mother something. She said, Sister Martin, she said, if Ronnie's going to ever walk, you got to stabilize his head. Because when I would walk, I would lean forward. So the next thing I do, I what? Oh. Too many of you are trying to take a step and you're leaning too far forward. And God says, I'm not ready for you to take all those steps. I just want you to take a step. Too many of you want to get to the end and you don't want to go through you got to go through the middle to get to the end.
That's right.
I was looking the other day, and don't nobody tell me why. I was looking at a Tootsie Roll Pop. When the last time you had a Tootsie Roll Pop? And I was looking on that Tootsie Roll Pop jacket. I was looking on it, I kept looking, and you know what? The reason why I was looking fast, because I wanted to get to the Tootsie Roll. So what I did was, on that first one, because I had two, on that first one, I bit into it so that I could go ahead and get to the Tootsie Roll. But I found out something, it didn't taste as good with all of that other stuff mixed into it. So on that second one, I kept on licking till I got to the middle. I come out here to tell you, God says, if you would just go ahead and take He said, I'll take the other one with you. And so what we got to remember is, if you miss this first one, it's going to be hard to take the rest of them. And so the first step is I must admit. That means, you know what? I can't do this. I must admit, Brother Tim.
Go ahead.
I am powerless. I got to admit that, sister, I am powerless. And it doesn't mean that I'm less than a man. I'm just saying that I can't handle what I am going through. Amen. I am. You know what gets us in trouble? Is the reason why we get in trouble. You know why we get in trouble? It's because we look at weakness.
Yes. Go ahead, Pastor.
In a bad way.
Amen.
But children of God, we recognize when I am weak,
He is strong.
then I am what? Made strong. But I can never get to the strong unless I go through the weak. And I come by here to tell you this morning we got to learn how to go through the weak portions so that we can get to the strong portion. Because look what John 15:5 says, I am the vine. Yes. Ye are the branches. He who abides, no, wait a minute, abide. Wait, abide. Come here, Dick. Abide. I got caught up with abide. And abide means I'm hooked. I'm hooked. And you know what? How many of you ever gone through some marital problems? The first we want to do when we go through marital problems is we want to get. I never forget one time, I went to grab Sister Brooks' hand, and I hadn't been real nice that day. I went to grab her hand that day. I went to grab it, and she just kind of knocked my head down. In actuality, if you can't be nice to me at home, don't make no public appearance. Too many of us, we want the public appearance without doing no work in private. Yeah. You know what? You want to kiss me when everybody's looking, but you don't want to kiss me at home because you really don't mean to kiss me.
Thank you. I'm Assistant Pastor Michael Weaver of To God Be the Glory Ministries. I wanted to just a moment to talk a little bit about some of the ministries we have here at To God Be the Glory. We are located on the corner of 45th and Silverton. Our direct address is 4455 Silverton Road Northeast. But let me just take a moment to talk to you about some of the ministries. Starting with our youth, we have our Boys to Men, where we focus on young men between the age of 8 to 12, where we are teaching them a foundation found in Jesus Christ, how to grow up to be productive men in this society. We also have a young women's ministry called Girl Power, again focusing on the same ages from 8 to 12. We invite you to bring your children, get them engaged in good Christian foundational teaching. We have for our young teenagers, we have a ministry called SWAG. That's where we bring our young men and women together, focusing on, again, that foundation found only in Jesus Christ. We have activities planned. We have a ministry day on Sunday where this group of young people lead our service. We look forward to seeing your young folks here in service on Sunday with us. We also have one of our ministries is our couples ministry, where myself and my wife, our pastor, senior pastor, and first lady lead our couples ministry. We ask you to join in, where again, we focus on the foundation. This time, the foundation of marriage. What God has put in us, what God intended for couples to share as they grow in maturity in marriage. We have from the newest of newlyweds to our couples that have been married for 3 or 4 years to seniors in their marriage that have been married for up to 40 years. We invite you to join in. I'm certain you'll fit somewhere in this group, in this ministry. You know, To God Be the Glory has many ministries going on. If you're looking for something, if you're tired of just flipping on the TV and watching a service on Sunday, come, get plugged in. We want to receive you at To God Be the Glory. Remember, something good is always happening at To God Be the Glory Ministries. Thank you.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not the only one that do that. You know, sometimes as a pastor, you want to give out this persona that everything is all right in your life and in your home. But you know what? Sometimes devil comes by and visits the Brooks' house. And sometimes he causes havoc in my own house. And you know what? I've learned that when he's causing havoc, it's not for me to try to put on a public appearance. This is when I need to get on my knees and have some private time with God. So he says, now notice what, he who abides in me and I in him. Now notice what would happen. Will bear much fruit. Amen. Oh, he didn't say bear a little bitty fruit. You know, the other day I went to Roth. I hope ain't nobody. Roth, if you are listening, I'm not really talking about you real bad. But I went to Roth the other day. And guess what? I had this little bitty piece of fruit. And they want to charge me $2.99 a pound for this little bitty piece of fruit. This little bitty piece of fruit. And I said, why is it that this little bitty piece of fruit is so little? And I come to the conclusion, it wasn't through growing. That's right. before it was picked. Too many of us, you want to be picked before you're through growing. And the reason why you can't deal with nothing, you got picked too fast. You want to know why so many people get divorces? You get too caught in what the person look like than what they are really like on the inside. I come out here to tell you, you know, when I first met my wife, when I first saw her, now we went to school together, and I tried to talk to her while we were in school. She didn't pay no attention because I was a nerd in school. I was a nerd in school. I was a nerd. And didn't nobody want to talk to me, and I was a nerd. And guess what? When she saw me after I grew up, I was no longer having acne all over my face. I found me some Noxzema. I done changed myself. I didn't have no Jerry curl. And here I got me some waves. And when I saw her, and she was in that red dress, Sister Joanna, I looked at her and I said, you know what? This can't be Linnell. I looked at her. I said, can I get close enough? So we got ready to take a school picture. It was our class reunion, getting ready to take a school picture. And we all stand up there. I'm standing up there. I'm giving my best side. Yes, sir. So after the pictures, Brother Reginald Robinson said, I need y'all money in order that I might send you the pictures. So Linnell said, oh, I don't have my purse. I said, I'll pay for it. I got it. And you know what? What Jesus is saying to somebody, you want to take the picture, but you don't want to pay the price. Too many of us want to be on the picture, but you don't want to go through nothing.
That's right.
And if you're going to take this first step, it's going to cost you.
Go ahead.
This first step is going to cost you. Now, watch this. Y'all ready? No. Not only, that's my great grandchild, so I cannot holler up. So what you got to remember is, the only way you can take a step is you got to put yourself in a position to take one. I can't take a step laying down.
No, sir.
I can't take a step sitting up here thinking about it. I got to be willing to put it in my brain that I'm getting ready to do something. My father, before he died at the tender age of 90. My daddy died at the tender age of 90. And what the doctor said was wrong with my father is that he had Alzheimer's. And you know when you get Alzheimer's and Parkinson mixed together, you just forget how to breathe.
Yes.
My father quit walking, but there was nothing neurologically wrong with his legs. And I said to the neurosurgeon, I said, why is it that my daddy can't walk? He says the signals to the brain are no longer functioning.
That's right.
What you got to do is, you got to send some signals to the brain that you're ready to stop doing what you've been doing. You got to send a signal to the brain. I'm tired of living like I've been living. You got to send a signal to the brain that you know what, I've been down long enough. You got to send a signal to the brain that no longer shall I stay like I am. I am going to get up from where I am, because guess what? God didn't make me to be the tail, but he made me to be the head.
Amen.
But you can't be the head if you're acting like a tail.
Amen.
Y'all got that?
That's it.
All right. Now listen to this. I want y'all to get this. My first point. Y'all ready for it? If you're going to take this step of admit. Now notice, you must be willing to give yourself permission to admit. When you think about being ready to admit something, you got to give yourself permission to admit it. Because if you don't give yourself permission to admit it, you'll always keep it to yourself. But in order to do the 12-step program, you got to be able to say it to somebody, so that somebody can come along and help you. Am I right, Brother Greg? And the only reason I pick on Brother Greg is, and I know he don't mind me telling you, he's been through the program. And guess what? Brother Greg tells me all the time, I've been through the program and I don't need to go through it no more. But I go to the meetings in order that it's a reminder of the fact that I've been through the program. Too many of us come to church, and when you come, you get a little something, and then you think you got it all. But you got to keep coming, because if you don't keep coming, you'll fool around, think you know it all, and something happens, and it causes you to fall. So now watch this. You got to give yourself permission to admit. You got to be willing to admit, mouth, I am powerless. And I want to tell you something. You can't be afraid of your life status. You know, I never forget. When the doctor told me I had to lose 50 pounds. When I lost the first 10. You know how your clothes fit you a little bit better? And all somebody got to do is tell you, you look good. And what they will come back and say to you, Sister Jane, they will ask the question, are you still losing? And you know in your own mind that you're not losing no more, because that was looking good is gotten tight. If you don't admit, and sometimes when you admit, you got to admit more than one time. Amen. You got to continue to remind yourself, I've admitted. Amen? Now notice something. Notice something. It says, without God, you can do nothing. And now notice, when you admit and you're not afraid of your status, then you won't get stuck in just saying it out of your mouth. Too many of us are stuck because I said it, and we think that's going to be the end of it. When you admit that I'm powerless, you will just take it up first. You ain't take the step yet. All you're doing is this. The other day, I was watching this guy. He ran a touchdown, and he did the Heisman thing. Too many of us are being Heisman Trophy winners, and we ain't won the Heisman yet. If you're going to take a step, you got to do more than just admit. Now that you've admitted, now it's time to submit. Okay, wait a minute, y'all. I lost some of y'all. I admit that I'm powerless. Now I got to submit to my status. Okay, now watch this. You ready? Look what it says. Look what it says. When I surrender or yield, look what it says. Therefore, do not worry about anything. What you gonna eat? What you gonna wear? What you gonna drink? For after all these things the Gentiles see. For your heavenly Father knows that you have need of that. See, when I've admitted, now I gotta submit. Because if I admit and never submit, then I will stay stuck and admit. Because when I submit, then I quit worrying. Oh, y'all haven't got this yet. See, you got to remember is, one of the worst things I've seen is people that are addicted. They say they're addicted and they don't do anything about the addiction. And you know why they don't do it, about it, Sister Player? They never submit. They admit, but they never submit. Wait a minute. When you get ready to get married, you're standing there. I admit that I'm getting married because I'm holding my wife to be hand. I got a hand right here. Now, I submit to the fact that I'm getting married because I say to myself, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to death do me part. Now I'm submitting to the fact that I've admitted that I'm getting ready to get married. I have admitted, and I start talking, I submit. And see, what you got to remember is in your submission stage, guess what's going to happen? You're going to quit worrying about the fact that you've admitted. Because it's only through your embarrassment that you find yourself not wanting to take the step. Because it's through the embarrassment that you have an addiction. I come by here this morning, hey, I'm your pastor, but I come by here, I got an addiction. I got an addiction of procrastination. I know I got to do something, but I wait till the last minute, procrastinate. I got an addiction. I got an addiction of being afraid that if I do something wrong, people won't like me. I got an addiction. My addiction is every once in a while. Sometimes I'm afraid that if I get something wrong, that people won't like me. Addictions.
All right. Amen.
I just admitted it. But what will I do now? To submit and do something about it. Y'all got that? Yeah. Because it's at the submission point that you began to look at Luke 22 and 42. Look what it says. Y'all remember Jesus?
Yeah.
When he was getting ready to go to the cross, y'all remember him?
Yeah.
Look what he did. He admitted he was going to the cross. But look what he had to do in this. He says, Father, take this bitter cup from me.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go to the cross. I've already admitted I'm going to the cross. But Father, take this bitter cup from me. But watch this submission. But not my will. But thy will be done. See, when you are really ready to admit and then submit, then it's no longer your will, but it's thy will be done. Amen. See, too many of us, we get stuck on admitting, and it's admitting, and we stick it in our will, but then if you never turn it to God's will, you'll always stay stuck with just, I said it.
Yes, yes.
Now watch this, y'all got this? When you are at the submission point, look what you start doing. Now faith begins to ball up. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. See, when I surrender, then all of a sudden, now here comes my faith. I never forget it. I had to do a speech, and y'all don't really realize I'm a very shy person. Every Sunday morning, I get deathly sick. I get sick. I get sick. My stomach gets all upset. I've been doing this for 30 years, but I still get sick. If I allow the sickness to make me not do it, I get stuck. But I go through the sickness. Because when I'm weak, then I'm made strong.
Yes, yes.
The sickness is my weakness. But if I stay stuck, it's just my weakness. I gotta move to being strong. Y'all gonna get that? All right now, this is tough now. And the reason why I had to preach this morning is because, my brother, I'm not trying to shout you as much as I am trying to help you.
Amen.
We have had too many of us get up and do a holy dance. Walk out of here and don't know nothing.
Amen.
I knew it was going to be hard, Brother Tim, because guess what? If you never submit, you never can commit.
Go ahead.
You admit and you forget to submit, and then your commitment is short-lived.
Amen. Amen.
See, because if you don't go through all the steps, you'll find yourself being stuck between poles. The other day I was on the elevator and got stuck. Sister Rana, it got stuck. And the doors were open and the elevator was stuck. I could look up, I could see the other floor. I looked down, I couldn't see nothing. I said, wow, I am stuck. And if you're not careful, you will have thought that you took a step and you didn't do it. So when you, see, when I quit, and see what I started doing when I got stuck, that's what I started doing, Deacon. I started jumping up and down on the elevator. No, I'm gonna praise God. I ain't gonna tell no story. I didn't even say no prayer. I said, you know what? It's time to get me off this elevator. Y'all know I take fluid pills. I gotta go to that restroom. So I started jumping up and down on the elevator. And so the guy said, hey! I said, what is it? He said, quit jumping on the elevator. I said, why? He said, because you're getting it out of line. I said, what? He said, if you keep jumping, I can never pull the elevator up because you're messing with the line. And he said, you just gotta be still. I said, what? He said, be still. I don't need your help. Oh, and the part of submission. You learn how to be still and realize God don't need your help.
Yeah.
That's right.
Too many of us were trying to do it on our own, even though we've already admitted that I can't do it. But we keep on trying to do it. But when you get to the point of submission, then you understand, I'm going to be still and let God do it.
Amen.
All right. Now, wait a minute. Now that I've admitted, now that I have submitted, now it is time for me to commit. Now watch this. Look at it. Look what it says. Look what it says. Matthew 16:33. Now seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all of its righteousness, and then these things shall be added unto you. Now seek. When you get to the seeking stage, you've already passed the submission stage. Because now I'm seeking, because I'm seeking to be committed. I'm seeking to be committed. And notice what it said. When you are seeking after something, have y'all ever played hide and go seek?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Here I come, ready or not. I turn around. When I turn around, I start looking for folks. And I started looking. And I never forget, there was a guy, he was real big. And he was hiding behind this tree that was this big. I said, I see you. Then I went over there, I tagged him. But I couldn't find the others because they had hidden themselves pretty good. But because I want to play the game, I kept on seeking. And I was committed to finding them.
Yeah.
See, what you got to remember is you can never move to the higher power of grace until you're willing to understand that I got to seek it.
Yeah.
I got to seek God. I got to seek him with everything I got. I know that he got my provisions, but I got to get to the provisions. And too many of us, he says, we have blessed us with all heavenly gifts. And wait a minute. I say, wait a minute. My gifts, my blessings is not here. My blessings are up there.
Yes.
How can I get my blessings to come down here? When I commit myself and I raise my hands and worship, guess what happened? My blessings come down. Because I made the commitment that I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that my life is right with God.
Go ahead.
I'm submitted. I'm committed because I admit it. And when you admit that you got a problem,
Go ahead.
when you understand that you're powerless, and I come by here to tell you, I'm telling you, you're powerless to do anything unless God helps you out. I'm powerless. I'm powerless. Powerless. I can't do anything. I'm powerless. I'm at a point of my life. I can't stay stuck. There was a woman who gave an illustration. Her husband had just bought her car, Brother Greg. It was a used car. And she said, oh, I just love my car. She said she had it all waxed. She said, I love my car. And she was driving the car. And she said, I was looking around and everybody was looking at my car because it looked good. And she said she got ready to get on the interstate on Interstate 5, and it stopped. She pulled over that pretty wax car. It was look good, everybody looking, but it ain't running. And she said, I gotta get to a meeting. And so she would crank it up and it go. So she said, I'm gonna get to my meeting. She said, but when she put it in reverse, it ran real good. But when every time she put it in drive, it started sputtering. You know what? Many times, many of us would have tried to go in reverse because it's the place of least resistance. I can go back to where I used to be because back where it used to be, I was comfortable there. But you know what? When you're going to go forward with the Lord, every once in a while, you're going to get a little sputter in your life. Every once in a while, your tires are not going to run quite right. But when you admit, and when you submit, and when you commit, then you don't have to worry about it. But God says, I will lift you up, and I will carry you where you need to go.
Yes.
There's somebody sitting here this morning, and you are in a state where you got to grab this first step, and that is, I am powerless. Is there any powerless people in the house? You've been trying to work with your addictions, and your addictions keep on working on you. Are you willing to admit, I am powerless? Are you willing to open your mouth and say, I'm powerless? I can't handle this no more. I've been in 4 marriages, and one constant thing in all of the marriages is me. I am powerless. Here it is. I've had 3 jobs, and I've lost every last one of them, and I'm trying to blame everybody else, but I come to the conclusion that it's me, Lord. I'm the mess up. I've had 3 homes, and I've lost every last one of them, and I always end up out there on the street. I am powerless. Are you willing to admit plus your submit will now equal to your commit? Is there anybody willing to admit?
Go ahead.
Yes.
I'm powerless. I messed this thing up long enough. I can't go another step with this mess on me. And you know what? The good thing about it, when you admit and submit, you know what? You're saying to yourself, you know what? I messed up today, but I ain't going to be messed up tomorrow. Because I'm going to keep on working. I'm going to keep on doing this thing till I get it right. I might be in a mess today. I might be in a pickle today. I might not have a house today. But guess what? I admit it because I'm committed that God's going to do something for me.
Yes. Amen.
Seek ye first. Seek it. If you are in a powerless state, I invite you to get up this morning.
Wow, what a powerful sermon. Remember, admit, submit, and commit. If you'd like additional information about To God Be the Glory, please check out our website at www.togodbetheglory.org. You can also like us on Facebook, and for previous sermons of Pastor Ronnie Brooks, please check out our YouTube channel. Please be sure to tune in next week for Pastor Brooks' sermon on being born again to win. Thank you for worshiping with us today. May God bless you richly this week is our prayer for you.